Central, Oklahoma, in high definition. This is Ucentral News.
Good afternoon. I'm Kayla Mena.
And I'm Emily Hahn. We have breaking news coming from Canada, and here's the latest. A Canadian soldier was shot and killed as he and another soldier stood guard at Canada's Parliament War Memorial on Wednesday. Details are emerging as authorities try to secure the government building in Ottawa. Stay tuned and we will keep you updated as we get more information.
There is encouraging news in the battle against Ebola. The ENBC freelance cameraman who was diagnosed with Ebola is now free of the virus. Ed Lavandera has the latest on the national's response to the deadly virus.
This morning, the freelance cameraman who contracted Ebola in Liberia is now free of the virus, according to health officials. Ashoko Mukpo tweeted, "I fought and won with lots of help. Amazing feeling." The 33-year-old is also offering hope for nurses Nina Pham and Amber Vinson. "Look forward to the day you two get news like this too," he writes. Both contracted Ebola while caring for the now deceased Liberian man, Thomas Eric Duncan, at the Texas Health Presbyterian Hospital. During the highest risk period for treating Duncan, the nurses wore protective gowns that exposed their necks.
We were very comfortable as we've reviewed Amber's use and Nina's use, that they knew what they were doing.
I spoke with the chief clinical officer of the hospital who says he didn't know of any nurses raising concerns about having exposed skin.
Did anyone raise a red flag and say, even though we're following CDC guidelines here, we're not covered the way we should be?
I think in retrospect, we've asked that question. We were in full compliance with CDC contact and droplet precautions going forward. From the minute we had the diagnosis of Ebola.
Since then, the CDC has updated its guidelines, fully covered protective gear from head to toe.
Now Barbara's going to turn around so I can inspect her.
But prior to prevention, it's detection. Varga admits Texas Health was ill-prepared and fell short in diagnosing the Ebola patient.
We had all the elements of information that were critical to understand a potential diagnosis of Ebola, but then communicating the information between caregivers was not as front of mind as it should have been.
Meanwhile, the Department of Homeland Security is ramping up its efforts. Starting today, all passengers arriving to the U.S. from Ebola-stricken countries must land at one of only 5 airports with enhanced Ebola screening.
Support in the fight against ISIS militants in Iraq and Syria. U.S. military cargo planes dropped weapons, ammunition, and medical gear meant for the Kurdish fighters Sunday night. CNN's Ivan Watson reports.
The Syrian border town of Kobani. Medics show the supplies they received on Monday. Life-saving stuff dropped from the sky by U.S. airplanes. Today we received equipment, says Dr. Wolat Omar. It was various types of medicine, antibiotics, anesthetics, sanitary supplies, bandages. Dr. Omar has been here for weeks. Braving enemy artillery to treat the desperate stream of wounded fighters and civilians hit during the ISIS siege of this Kurdish city. The city's Kurdish defenders have Arab allies, Free Syrian Army fighters who show off a suicide bomb vest and vehicle they say they captured from ISIS. Only days ago, it seemed like Kobani would be all but lost to ISIS's furious assault. But the U.S. is helping Kobani's defenders with airstrikes and now with the first airdropped deliveries of weapons and ammunition. In this tiny makeshift clinic, it's the medicine delivered by America that may turn the tide in this battle. We thank the people who brought these medical supplies, Dr. Omar says. And then he gets back to his very important work.
The Edmond City Council is considering ways to get families out and about in the community with new hiking and biking trails. Ucentral's Chase Buzz has this story.
You won't have to bike on dangerous busy streets anymore. Edmond is working on a bid to build a 3.2-mile trail next to Arcadia Lake.
You'll be able to enter the trail on the west side of I-35, go under I-35, and then head out to Spring Creek Park at the lake. It's about a 3.2-mile trail.
Council is making sure it is wide enough for bikers and people to be able to share the trail.
The trail's 18 feet wide, so there's separate pedestrian pathway or joggers or pedestrians, and then a separate bike path on it. Now it'll all be one wide trail, but we'll have it designated for pedestrians on one side and bikes on the other.
Most people's first thought is, where's the money to build the trail coming from?
The funds for this are coming from what we call a 2000 capital improvement sales tax. It was a sales tax adopted in the year 2000 that for a number of capital improvement projects, and trails was a part of that package of projects that were listed. And our hope is that with this trail project out to the lake, it will spur some fundraising to maybe get a trail to go completely around the lake.
Unfortunately, the trails bid got postponed 2 weeks. If you're interested, you can go to the city council meeting to see if the bid gets passed. This is Chase Buss with Ucentral News.
Want to know how to win free parking? Well, here's your chance to listen up. The United Way campaign is giving away 10 parking passes to students who participate. Parking day for students will be today from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. The cost is $5 per entry. Each pass will allow the holder to park for an entire month in the visitor lot east of the University Center. All proceeds go to the United Way.
Hey Emily, did you know that today is National Unity Day? All students, regardless of race, ethnicity, and gender, can be targets of bullying and cyberbullying.
That's right, and UCO wants us to wear our school colors in order to do this and post pictures of you and your friends in the colors with the hashtag Unity Day 2014.
Take a look. Tuesday morning, right off the 836. Most were driving right on by.
Take a look at this. Construction crews encounter a transporter as they work inside Northwest Miami-Dade Tuesday. An 11-foot python emerged from a pipe. That's all the time we have for now. Thanks for joining us.
Be sure to join us later today for our 4:30 p.m. newscast. Thank you guys. Take care.